What's the latest information you have at this point?
Yeah, well, let me kind of quickly start from the beginning and let you know that around midnight last night, we received a phone call from a couple and their roommate who had allegedly been held against their will at gunpoint by 3 individuals within their residence. The storyline breaks down like this and gets a little confusing. So what I wanted to tell you was this couple answers their door and they're confronted by 2 armed men who they describe as black, and you will have a better description that we've just sent out to you recently. Those 2 individuals forcibly enter the home, hold those first 2 individuals against their will while they begin to rob the house. While this is ongoing, a 3rd suspect arrives holding a Hispanic male at gunpoint, forces him into the house as well. They're all staged in a particular portion of the house while this robbery occurs, at which point in time we have the homeowners, the resident's roommate arrives. That individual is also taken at gunpoint, placed to the side. And after a period of time of all this unraveling, the suspects bind the 3 individuals together who reside at the house, and they take at gunpoint this 4th individual with them. They steal the victim's car, which you should have that descriptor as well, and they leave the scene. We do not know how this Hispanic male who was taken at gunpoint came in contact with those individuals prior to arriving at that home, but obviously we're going to pursue everything we can to try to return him and locate him as quickly as possible.
What's the latest information that you have?
Well, there's a lot of descriptors that we've just put out about all of the suspects. We've also had some new information just come forward where an individual who was not believed to be a person who was a part of the home invasion robbery itself, that individual, we found a photograph of him driving a white Jeep Grand Cherokee. He stopped at a gas station in St. Johns County in Ponte Vedra, as well as a gas station in the Arlington area of Jacksonville. That individual was using the victim's credit card taken from that home invasion. So this is a person of interest. We don't know how he became involved or in possession of that card. But certainly we want to talk to that individual, and so at this point in time everything is moving forward. It's a very active investigation.
Kind of unusual for this kind of situation to kidnap a victim and take him along with the home invasion. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, you know, unusual is something that we deal with almost every day anymore in law enforcement, so we don't make any judgment calls on that. At this point in time, the victims who are there that we're able to talk to now described him as being under duress. We're going to go with that. If we find differently, we'll address that at that time. But currently, we want to locate this young man, who is unfortunately a juvenile out of Jacksonville.
What was taken from the apartment?
Well, we have a list, but we're not going to disclose that currently. There's a lot of things in this case that we want only us and the suspects to be aware of at this point in time.
What was said between the suspects?
Yeah, again, we won't get into fruits of the crime and issues that were ongoing inside the residence during that course of time. There's an extended period of time that those individuals were in that home, so a lot of things have transpired. What we want to do right now is keep some of this information very confidential just to us so that we can move forward, and if we find these suspects, that'll help our investigative techniques.
Does Marcus Hatch know the suspects or the couple who was tied up?
We simply don't know that. We don't know anything about Marcus Hatch before he arrived through the front door being held at gunpoint by the suspects.
And they managed to untie themselves, is that correct? Or?
Yeah, they freed themselves and were able to notify law enforcement, I believe, through a neighbor.
Any surveillance video?
Yeah, well, obviously that's something that we're dealing with. We won't be releasing anything that we've had except for that one photograph we've just released to you. So anything that is pertinent to our investigation to get the public, one, their safety, so that they understand who we're looking for as a primary issue, as well as, and of course, locating this young man. And secondarily, you know, obviously anything that's of a safety nature and anything that helps us solve this case is what we'll be pushing out as quickly as we can.
Was this a random home invasion, or did the suspects know?
Don't have that. That's conjecture and speculation, and we certainly can't do that. We have to work with the facts at hand and then move forward with the investigation from there.
Was what was the relation of the 3rd person who was tied up, or did they just randomly?
Yeah, the 3rd person is a roommate of the original couple who were taken at gunpoint when they answered the front door to their home. So this is a roommate. So there are 3 individuals who reside in that residence in Ponte Vedra, one who is a couple, and then the 3rd is a roommate of those 2.
Did anyone in the apartments around this one hear anything, since they're all pretty close?
Well, that's obviously part of our canvas. That's a general protocol that we'll do, and we'll be knocking on a lot of doors. We'll be there for quite some time. Again, this investigation for us started at midnight. It really took a completely different turn when we found that this individual was a missing juvenile out of Jacksonville.
And finally, the last question from here: an alias posting on Facebook under Juju Long. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with that. Okay. I've been dealing with the matter at hand. I haven't been following social media blogs.
And anything else in Jacksonville residents need to be aware of? that sort of thing?
Well, what we know right now is certainly what they know. We've got a picture of the suspect who's using the credit card out there with the card description. We've got the vehicle description that was stolen. So obviously we've got the photograph of the missing individual that we're looking for, and we've put out the descriptions of the suspect. So pretty much everything the public can help us with, we've already provided. And then again, our investigation continues. So in an hour, something could change.